Good morning, student. Welcome to the fifth unit of mobile application development, that is Android intent. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about what is Android intent and intent filter. So let's start with the Android intent. The intent itself, an intent object, is a passive data structure holding an abstract description of an operation to be performed. It means that intents are those parts of application which are used to send message or to communicate between one or the other. For example, if you click on the messaging application, you get proper inbox which shows the list view of all the conversation thread. If you click on one of the thread, you will redirect to different page which shows the entire conversation history. Or if you open up your WhatsApp application, you see the list of all the chat. You click on a chat, go to the next page, which shows you the chat history. So you used, for example, sometimes you use the camera, you open up the camera, that means you are able to see a proper camera view, which will be loading entire page for you. So you click on the gallery and you go to the new directory or new direction. For that matter, now what is intent basically? So how does communication between application happens? So if I want to communicate in between activities in my application and I want to communicate with some other applications also, that time I need intents for it. It means basically intents are used for the communication between same app or with the other app also. So intents are basically message passing objects which you need to request an action from another app component, but a component can be anything. That means it can be a service, it can be a receiver, and it can be activity. So there are many ways in which we can have this communication between app or between some other apps. So let's see. Basically, there are two main types of intent. So first, before that, we will understood what is intent object. So an intent object is a bundle of information which is used by the component that receives the intent as well as information used by the Android system. So an intent object is a bundle of information. That bundle of information is used by the component, and as I told you, component can be anything, like it can be activity, it can be a receiver, or it can be a service. So that receives the intent as well as information which is used by the Android system. So an intent object can contain the following components based on what it is communicating or what is going to perform. So the first component that will talk about the intent object is an action. So action is a mandatory part of the intent object and is a string naming the action to be performed. It means that you have to write action and after that you have to give string name, that means which action you want to perform. So or in the case of broadcast intent, action that took place and is being reported, the action largely determines how the rest of the intent object is structured. Okay, so what is meant by action? In action component, we have to specify the name of action that we want to perform in the string format, and it is a mandatory intent object. So intent class defines a number of actions, a number of action constants corresponding to different intents. So there is a list of Android intent standard actions. So action in an intent object can be said by the set action method. So action can be said by the set action method and read by the get action method. After the action, we have another component, that is data. So now what is data? Adds a data specification to an intent filter. What is intent filter? We will discuss in the next topic in the same lecture. So adds a data specification to an intent filter. So this specification can be just a data type. It can be just a URI or both data type and URI. So a URI is specified by separate attributes for each of its parts. So these attributes that specify the URL format are optional and also they are mutually dependent. Okay, so attributes that specify the URL format are optional and mutually dependent. So if a scheme is not specified for the intent filter, all the URI attributes are ignored. And if a host is not specified for the filter, the port attribute and all the path attributes are ignored. So we have two methods like set method and get method. Uh, to set the objects, we have set method, and to read the objects, we have get method. So as in the action, there is a set action method and get action method. Likewise, in the data, we have set data method, which specifies data only as URI. Set type specifies it only as MIME type, and set data and type specifies it both as URI and a MIME type. So the URI is read by get data method and the type by get type method. Now let's see the types of intent. So basically there are two main types of intent. First one is explicit intent and implicit intent. So now what is explicit intent and implicit intent? So let's see. For example, we had done in the phone call or SMS also. Uh, if we simply click the phone call or simply we have fired the action into intent, then we are able to directly make the call and we don't need to mention anything else. We can directly make the call, we can directly receive the call. We don't need to mention anything for this purpose. That means for in the phone call and for the phone call and messaging purpose. So how it is possible without mentioning anything, how we can make and receive call, how we can send and receive messages? It is possible because Android has some specific intents predefined which allows other apps to call that particular application. Okay, it is possible because Android has some specific intents which are predefined intents. Predefined means there are already intents available in your Android operating system which allow other apps to call that particular application. For example, see, I want to open a calculator. Okay, now calculator is a predefined app. It is come up with the what is predefined app which is come up with the particular Android operating system. Okay, any app is a predefined app which is specific to that operating system. So if I want to open calculator, the Android has by default calculator. So I'm giving internet intent for that. I call implicit intent and I able to open my calculator. So not a specific component, but instead declare a general action to perform, which allows a component from another app to handle it. So like if you want to show a location on a map, you can use an implicit intent to request that another capable app to show a specified location on a map. Right, like say I want to show the location and I fetch the Google Map app and shows the location. Now just say I want to communicate, I want to traverse between my application. like between activities in my application or services in my application, at that point in time, I use explicit intent. So it basically specifies the component that start by name. It's a proper class name to start the component from your application, because you know the class name or the activity or the service that we want to start, and we know these things, we actually mention the entire activity name or entire class name, because we know what is the class that we want to start, because either we own it or we are having the information about it. For example, starting a new activity in response to user action, like say user clicks a login button, you fetch intent and show it on the next page, and you have been logging, or you start a service to download a file in the background. For example, let's say you are downloading some music or some file in the background. So how this started? Because of the intent. Okay, so this is the basic difference between explicit intent and implicit intent. Now let's see, it is again one by one, what is basically implicit and explicit intent means. So now let's see, how do we fire intent. Now first of all, what is intent? Intent is a messaging object you can use to request an action from another app component. Although intent facilitates communication between components in several ways. So the first we will talk about the intent, for which we know the entire details of the intent. Explicit intent means for which we know the entire details of the intent. We simply use the class. Make the object, and call default constructor. This is the calling class. And what is explicit intent? It specifies the component to start by name, and you will typically use an explicit intent to start a component in your own application, because you know the class name of the activity or service that you want to start. For example, starting a new activity in response to a user action, or to start a service to download a file in the background, as we have discussed already. And what is implicit intent? Implicit intent do not name a specific component, but instead declare a general action to perform, which allows a component from another app to handle it. For example, if you want to show the user a location on map, you can use an implicit intent to request that another capable app show a specified location on map. Okay, now we will see intent one by one in detail. So first, explicit intent. So explicit intent going to be connected internal word of application. Suppose if you want to connect one activity to another activity, we can do this code by explicit intent. So this is the image which is showing the explicit intent. That means by clicking on click me, we are automatically redirecting to this second activity by clicking this click me button. So explicit intent, for which we know the entire details of the intent, we simply use the class. We simply use the class and make the object and call default constructor, which is having two argument. So this is the calling class. So the first activity dot this is the calling class, that is the first argument, and this one is the destination. Destination, which is the second argument, means which I want to call. Okay, so this is the calling class and this is which I want to call. Like this is calling class click me, and this is the second argument, that means the class or activity that I want to start. So I simply target that start activity. So I simply target that start activity, I pass the intent I, which is here. This intent I is passed to start activity, and I able to launch the intent of my application. And if this intent runs fine, this activity finishes in the manifest file. Okay, that means this activity finishes in the manifest file, which is your XML file, and everything goes fine. Second activity will be shown on your screen, and it will start from its own create. Okay, so this is the explicit intent. By using the intent class, we create a new object and pass two arguments to the constructor. That means the activity to call and the activity which we want to call. That means the destination activity. Then now say I want to start implicit intent. So by implicit, I mean intents that are predefined. Like in this intents, I want to fire a constant. How do we do that? I will create a new intent. We set the new action that I want to open action view. This is the new action. That means I want to open action view, and my data is contact, that is contact underscore URI, and I start this intent. This would also result in a similar application, similar result, and only difference is that here that is only difference with the explicit and implicit intent here. In explicit, I was knowing the class name. What is my class name? I was knowing here the class name and the class path. And in the implicit intent, I am unaware of all these things. I only know about my action and my data that I want. So what is my action? I want to open action view, and what data I want? I want to contact list. So here I don't know about the class name and class path, but here I know about the action and the data that I required. Okay, so this is the implicit intent. Now so this will be the output of this implicit intent. Once you do this such coding, and when you open your action view, it is going to show you your contact list. So here only two contacts are there in your in this contact list. That's why it is displaying only two contacts. So now let's talk about the methods and the related description of the intent. So first we have three main components that we can call. As we know, as we discussed in the starting of this lecture, these three components are the activity, service, and broadcast. So we can call the first one being a start activity, second one being a service, and third being a broadcast. So to start activity, we simply call start activity method. To start the activity, we simply call start activity method. For a service, we use start service method, and for a broadcast, we use send broadcast method. Now let's see all one by one. So first one is the context dot start activity. So the intent object is passed to this method to launch a new activity or get an existing activity to do something new. So an activity represents a single screen in your app. You can feed a new instance by passing an intent, as we did in the previous example. So for example, in this start activity method, sorry, in the start activity method, we are passing an intent, that is read one. So an activity represents a single screen in your application. You can feed a new instance by passing an intent, as we did in the implicit intent. And intent describes the activity to start and carries any necessary data. So the second one is the context.start service method. So the intent object is passed to this method to initiate a service or deliver new instructions to an ongoing service, like as we did in the broadcast receiver. How do the application receiver that are looking for like we did in the broadcast receiver, how do the application receiver that are looking for a broadcast that are fired up based on an intent? Whenever intent filter is matched, like I say phone restart, so all the manifest file that I am having intent filter for phone restart, all these intent filter that are match up, and whenever the phone is restarted, a broadcast is sent. The broadcast is sent using the intent, and as a result, the all the applications that are trying to fetch that intent could be able to have that message, yes, the phone has been restarted. So this is about the start service and the broadcast intent. Now let's see how we can implement intents. So intent is basically a small component for message passing. We will be having an activity and another activity, and we will be transfer from one activity to another activity, passing the data, and also we trying when we have some predefined or explicit intent also working. So this is about the to start an activity, to start a service, and to deliver a broadcast. So what is broadcast? Broadcast is a message that any app can receive. The system delivers various broadcasts for system events, such as when the system boots up or when the device starts charging. You can deliver a broadcast message to other apps by passing an intent to send broadcast method, send ordered broadcast method, or send sticky broadcast methods. So this is all about the Android intent. So what we are discussing the intent. First, we start with the what is an intent, then what is intent objects. Types of intents. Basically, there are two types of intents, like explicit intent and implicit intent. After that, we have seen the syntax for the explicit and implicit intent. This is the example of the implicit intent. Then the methods and descriptions related to that particular intent. And after that, the next topic is intent filter. So what is intent filter? So we could have seen some predefined filters, something like Android underscore action dot main in your Android manifest file. When you open your Android manifest file, you can see Android underscore action dot main file. So intent filters are the parts that define in manifest file and are after activity component for that matter. So as a word defined, basically, when we want to filter our application, by filtering, I mean, I want to give some additional properties, some additional requirements, and some additional actions to my application or to my activity. And at that point in time, I define intent filter. So if you remember that we have used the intent action underscore call to call in our application. So when we try to call a phone directly, we also use the send email option by using the action underscore share. Or how all these things happens, basically this happen because of few parameters which we have passed in the intent filter. So let's see what is intent filter, what are the three parts of the intent filter, and how we can have our own intent filter created. So each intent filter is defined by an intent uh, filter element in the application manifest file. As I told you, in the application manifest file, we can find the intent filter nested in the corresponding app component, such as activity element. And inside the intent filter, you can specify the type of intents, like explicit intent or implicit intent, to accept using one or more of these three elements. So there are three elements in the intent filter. First one is action, second one is data, and third one is the category. So first one is the option, action. Action declares the intent action accepted in the name attribute. The value must be the literal string value of an action, not the class constant.